Hey, Happy New Year to everybody on this call. 2020 is gone, 2021 is here. And I'm sure if you're listening to this, like I'm listening to this, after what you heard from Ahmed and Asad, my amazing partners, I'm sure you'll be more excited than ever before because this is not normal. This is not normal. We are living in unprecedented times, crazy times out there. If you want negativity, just switch on the TV. If you want to go down, just switch on the TV. But well done, every one of you, who've logged onto this call today. Well done for being an entrepreneur. It's not an easy journey, but I believe from the bottom of my heart, with every essence in my soul, that entrepreneurs make the world a better place. And I am sure by all that you've heard so far, by everything that you've listened to, I'm sure you will agree with me. It's exciting times ahead for each and every one of you who have taken the decision to take NeXarise to the next level. So this is going to be a very short session. And what we decided to do is we're going to give you the announcements. We're going to give you all the updates. We're going to talk about what is coming. But this next segment, a very short segment, it's about you and how you can take control of 2021. Because there are two kinds of people in the world: people who act and react. And it's about time that we take control of our future so that we can create it. Now, look at this. I mean, I love this. When I saw the video by Ahmed about the summary of what happened in 2020 and what NeXarise was able to do, I'm telling you, NeXarise is a miracle. It's an absolute miracle. And I just wanted to reiterate, just go through again, just to show you, because this is not normal. All right, 30th of April, we were born. 23rd, multiple social media channels, 5,000 followership. 16th of September, just a few months ago, we started enrolling our very first IBOs. We launched our very first service on the 12th of October. 13th, our next service. Then we launched our third service on the 15th. Then Lifestyle by NeXarise. Then Arise Academy. And then 18 days after our very first launch, thousands of IBOs who are earning over £100 of true residual income. Many of them have never earned residual income the way they are enjoying it at NeXarise. Now, ETT 100 is not a lot of money, but it's residual income and there's value to it. You're now in the top percentage of income earners. Okay, then we launched Next Mobile with over 3,000 customers, launched home and business security alarms with Very Sure. And now look at this, hundreds of thousands of pounds paid in commissions. You see, my friends, this was done in the last 8 months in the midst of the greatest pandemic and the greatest economic recession on the planet. Think about that. So when we see this, for us, it's just a miracle, but it's clear that there are people who believe in our vision. There are people who want more in life, and that's what it's all about. Now, all of this would not have been possible if goals were not written down. All of this would not have been possible if we didn't have a very big desire to genuinely create an opportunity for people to change their lives. And that's what it's all about. And we are grateful. We are beyond grateful for all that we have done here. And this was done because we wrote our goals down. This was done because we knew exactly what we're doing, how we're doing, how we're going to do it. And today's session is just about you. Now, we are doing our part. It's very clear. I can categorically say this, that even though NeXarise is a network marketing company, we are in our own league. We set our own bar. We are in our own race and we are in our own pace. You can all clearly see that. That is why this is happening in front of you and it's becoming very clear. But now it's about you, taking you to the next level in 2021. So that's what I want to do. This section is about goal setting and mission statement. By the time I'm done, I pray and I hope that every one of you would have written down your goal and your mission statement. Now, many of you might have already done that. So you can just use a few elements of this session as guidelines to enhance it, to ensure that you can achieve these goals. So that's what it's all about. Now, here's the funny part. Most people don't write down goals. In fact, most people don't even have goals. You know, they come into a new year and they say Happy New Year, but there's nothing new in the new year apart from a shift in the date in the calendar. That's what happened, most people. So that's the reason why one of the most renowned entrepreneurs and authors, his name is Jim Cathcart. Now, he said this: most people aim at nothing in life and they hit it with amazing accuracy. Think about that. Most people aim at nothing in life and hit it with amazing accuracy. So what we want, as we as founders want you to go into 2021 is with intention, that you're going in with a goal, knowing exactly what you want, what you're going to do, and how we're going to do it. So here are the 4 objectives that I want to set. 1, I want you to set your own goal. Second, I want you to set your success strategy. Third, a success system. And 4th, your mission statement. Now, this is not just going to be about me just talking, please. This is an interactive session. So I genuinely request you to get a piece of paper, a couple of pieces of paper, and a pen, because you're going to write down your goal. And don't take this as some kind of a psychological training. The things that I'm going to share with you right now has been derived from multiple amount of books, multiple amount of autobiographies of how a lot of successful people have achieved their goals. So let me start off with this experiment that was done in 1979. And it was the MBA group of Harvard. So a few of the scientists, what they did is they went and interviewed students at the Harvard MBA program, 1979. It was a very simple question. They wanted to know who wrote down their goals. And after collecting the information, this was the actual way the actual numbers were divided. 83% of those students, remember they're doing MBA, all right, they had no goals whatsoever. 14%, they had goals, but it was in their head. And 3% had goals, but they had written them down. So this was the actual composition. Now, what they did was they monitored these facts over a 10-year period. And 10 years later, 1989, all that they wanted to know is the success ratio of who of those people became successful. Now, this is quite fascinating. Check this out. What they found out that the 14% of people who didn't write down the goals, but had the goals in their head, they were 10 times more successful than the 83%. Isn't that crazy? But the 3% of the people who had the written goals were 30 times more successful than the 83%. See, this is something that was experimented, and a lot of people who are successful in life, they actually attribute to the fact that goal setting and knowing exactly where you're going makes a huge difference in the way that you end up in life. So here's what it is. So now that you've understood the importance of writing down the goal, now let's talk NeXarise language, okay? You have now come into NeXarise. Naturally, most of you are not going to be full-time because this is a career and a profession on its own. So you're doing it part-time. So you will have your normal bread and butter job. Now you might be thinking, how do I allocate my time in 2021 towards building my NeXarise business? One of the most common questions that we founders get. How do we allocate our time? So remember, everybody has 24 hours. The only difference is the smart ones use it, the rest abuse it. So if you can identify and understand the concept of the most important commodity in the world, which is time, you will be able to understand there's a skill allocated to time management. Okay, and that skill is what I'm going to talk about. So think about this: 24 hours in a day, everybody has it. 24 hours a day is 168 hours in a week. Imagine you sleep 8 hours a day. That covers off 56 hours. Imagine you work 8 hours a day. That's 40 hours gone. 5 hours is miscellaneous. Washing, bathing, driving, going shopping. Let's say you did 5 hours a day. So that's 35 hours in a week. What you're left with is 37 hours. You see, this remaining 37 hours is one of the most important concepts of what differentiates successful people and unsuccessful people. What happens is most people use the remaining 37 hours for entertainment, but successful people use it for entrepreneurship and education. So if you can now understand before you set your goal that you need to allocate time management into your schedule, and you be intentional about how you're going to allocate your time. You be intentional about the fact that the smart ones use it, the rest abuse it. Now you can allocate the 37 hours, and 37 hours is more than ample time for you to be a success story in 2021 with NeXarise. More than ample. So that's time management. Next, priorities. See, I've seen a lot of successful people in their life. They're rich in their bank account, but they're not rich in every other area of life. They don't have balance. So I've seen a lot of very rich people in the bank account, but they're unhealthy. So they focus all their time on making money, but not on their health. And eventually it becomes, vicious circle. So one of the things that is very important in people's success life is the fact that they have a balanced life of health, wealth, and wisdom. So one of the things, now you understood time management before you set your goal. Another thing you want to understand is priorities. I break down my priorities into the 7 F's. The first F is faith. Make time for your faith. Number 1 priority. Second F, fitness, because health is wealth. There's no point in being the richest man in the grave. Third F, family. Now, why does fitness come above family? And I'll tell you why. Because if you are unwell or unhealthy, you become a burden to your family. So you got to look after your body, the one temple. Then your financial career. This is your job. This is your bread and butter. You've got to pay the bills, and this you got to focus on it. Having a job is not a bad thing, it's a great thing. In fact, if you have a job, consider yourself blessed. Thousands of people are losing their jobs. But the 5th one is a financial calling. This is where you get residual income so that you never have to depend only on your job. See, a career is what you're paid for. A calling is what you're made for. And you see, when a 4-letter word called work becomes a 3-letter word called joy, you never have to work a day in your life. So you want to match your calling, your financial calling, as soon as possible with your career. And that's through residual income. 6th F is friends. Having the right associations, not negative, not toxic, positive, grateful people that you surround yourself on a regular basis. And the 7th F is included in all the other 6, and that is fun. You got to have fun in your faith, in your fitness, in your family, in your career, in your calling, and in your friendship. Now, you know time management, the number of hours that you have. You can prioritize in your life as to how you want to actually run your life. So now you know that. Now, next, let's set your goal. Now, you've all heard of the concept of SMART goal. I call it setting a smarter goal, SMARTER. Now, if I were to do a session on goal setting, I can do a week of intensive training, but this is like a crash course. So it gives you a general guideline. Now, here are 7 areas of your life to set goals in: family, spiritual, financial, social, physical, intellectual, and career. All right. I'm going to talk from the NeXarise perspective that normally comes down to financial. So when you're going to write down your goal, here is what you want to remember: the acronym SMARTER goals. S stands for specific, M measurable, A attainable, R relevant, T time-based, E evaluate, R reward. So when you're going to write down your goal, S, here's a question you want to ask: who, what, where, when, which. It has to be specific so you know exactly what you want to know. I once asked a gentleman, hey, listen, what's your financial goal in NeXarise? He said, I want to make a lot of money. Now that's not specific. You got to write exactly, specifically the exact amount that you want. Next, can you measure it? Can you apply numbers to it? Can you apply facts to it? Now, is it attainable? Can you accomplish it? I once asked a gentleman, how much money do you want to make? He said 20,000 pounds. I said, how much do you make right now? He said 2,000. See, that's not even attainable. So you want to make sure that it is attainable and the fact that it's relevant and realistic. Then it has to have a time scale, and you need to be able to measure it on a weekly basis, on a bi-weekly basis, a monthly basis, and a yearly basis. Now, E and the R, you need to be able to evaluate it every weekly, fortnightly, monthly. And then the last R is reward. Every time you hit a milestone in your goal, you want to literally reward yourself. What this does, it's subliminally in your subconscious makes you a goal achieving person. It's very powerful. So smarter goal setting. So when you're writing down your goal, you want to focus on the fact that it's specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time-based, evaluated, and then reward. Okay. Now, what's great about NeXarise is there's no ambiguity for setting a financial goal, because there's always a rank that's achieved, that's connected to the actual money that you want to earn. So if you want to make 250 pounds a month of residual income, you're now an ETT 250. It's simple. If you want to make 5,000 a month, you need to become a team coordinator 5,000. Hey, you want to become a 10,000 a month earner? That's regional director 10. Hey, do you want to make 200,000 a month? That's senior vice president. And do you want royalty? 1 million a month? That's senior vice president crown. You know, there's no ambiguity. You know exactly the rank that you got to earn. And when you hit that rank, you get paid that every single month. See, NeXarise makes you wealthy, not rich, wealthy. Now, what's the difference between being rich and wealthy? Rich means you have money in your account because you exchange your time for money. Wealthy means money comes into your account regardless you exchanging your time. That's the difference. And that comes through residual income. So that's great. So for you to set a goal, it's very easy. NeXarise makes it very easy because a rank is attached to your financial goal. Now I've showed you the actual setting the goal element. So you can set your goal. Next, what is your strategy? You see, most people, when they come into NeXarise, they're not going to be full-time. So someone will ask you, hey, listen, what is it that I've got to do to become a success story? So you got to give people a strategy. What is the strategy that they need to follow? Now look at this. What is the meaning of the word strategy? It's a plan of action or a policy designed to achieve a major or overall aim. So here's the strategy you got to get people. And this is what I advise people. It's very simple. Everybody can do it. First, read 10 pages of a book a day. Now, what I've really understood in life is people who don't personally develop, they soon lose their inspiration and they fizzle out. So motivation is temporary, inspiration is permanent. And you've got to feed your mind. That's the only way that you will be motivated to do something. So imagine I told a new IBO who walks in to my team and I say, hey, listen, you got to read a book a day. He won't be able to do it. But can he read 10 pages of a book a day? Absolutely. Here's what happens. 10 pages of a book a day in a month is about 300 pages. That's almost one book a month. That's realistic. Okay, so now some of you say, hey, I can't read books. I don't read books. There are so many programs like Audible, that you can now listen to books. Now people always ask me, what kind of books should you read? Now I've got a few of my favorites. You can take a picture of this. I always say, don't read 120 books. Read 12 books 10 times. So repeat the books. Now these are 12 books that I strongly recommend. GoPro teaches you the 7 skills of network marketing. Building an Empire is a complete blueprint. Go for No, it shows you that rejection is good for your business. Compound Effect makes your entire life. It talks about habits, about Dad and Hardy. Rich Dad, Poor Dad will give you the basics of the cash flow quadrant. 7 habits of highly effective people. What are the highest, most effective people in the world? What are the habits that they have? Copy it. 21 irrefutable laws of leadership is very good when you want to build a big team. How to win friends and influence people. Dale Carnegie, a classic. Crucial conversations. How do you have tough conversations, difficult conversations. A book that an average millionaire reads 7 times, Think and Grow Rich. Outliers, people who are the most successful in the world, what makes them successful, and Building Your Network Marketing Business by Jim Rohn. Take a picture of this. I would say at least one book a month. And at the end of the year 2021, if you could read through all these 12 books, I promise you, you'll be so much better in your network marketing business. So 10 pages of a book a day. Next, 2 prospects daily to your list. If you open Facebook, if you open Instagram, billions of people waiting for your call. See, what you want is an active pipeline, is what, like Ahmed Mukha says, create an active pipeline of prospects that you keep on adding to your ACL, your contact list, every single day. Now, think of it like this as a game. Don't think of it like a job or a chore. As a game, you're adding prospects to your prospect bank and you want to show them the opportunity. So that's 2 a day. All right. This is a daily method of operation. Next, 2 guests to a presentation daily. All right. Do a Zoom meeting, 10 minutes. You can show them a presentation every day too. Then every training that you can attend, make sure you do that once in a week. And then every leadership training event. This is like a weekly schedule for ordinary people who can come in and do it quite easily with their 37 hours. 10 pages a day, 2 prospects a day, 2 guests in a presentation a day, training weekly and leadership event. Now, what if you want to move faster? Some of the most successful network marketers in the world, they attribute their success to 90-day game plans. And we call this the magic of time compression. So I'll give you an idea. Imagine you have to travel a distance, a journey of 365 miles. And at the end of it, you achieve treasure. Now imagine you run for 1 mile a day. It'll take you a year to get there. But if you compress time and did 2 miles a day, you'll reach there in 6 months. If you did 3 miles a day, you'll reach there within 90 to 100 days. That's time compression. So if you want to get to RD10 after 1 year, you can. That's 10,000 a month. But you can also do it if you put your mind to it with the power of time compression. So rather than reading 10 pages a day, just multiply that by 3. So 30 pages a day. Rather than 2 prospects a day, 6 prospects a day, 6 guests a day, and training and weekly. So this is time compression. So if you want to move fast in 2021, here's the beauty about it. Just multiply it faster. That's the psychology behind it. So there you go, friends. That's the actual strategy. So I talked about setting your goal, the financial goal. Now you've got the strategy. What's next is the system of NeXarise. It's very easy. Make your team an ETT factory. Get IBOs to come into NeXarise and convert them into ETTs. Simple as that. It is as simple because ETT is a building block position in NeXarise. So if you want to become an ETL 1000, help 43 people become ETT 100. If you want to become an SVP Crown, 32,000 people. Help people make money, you make money. Isn't that amazing? So give people what they want, then enough people will give you what you want. This is a strategy. You don't need any other strategy. Help people win genuinely, and then you will win. So there you go. That's the strategy. So we got the goal, we got the strategy, we got the system. Now, last thing, I want you to write down. Now is the writing part. This is when you come in, where you write down your mission statement and your goal. So I hope you have a piece of paper and a pen. So let's do this together. First, I want you to write down 5 things that you are thankful for in your personal life. So take a moment, 5 things that you are thankful for in your personal life. Okay. Next. Write 5 things that you are thankful for in your professional life. Now, this could be where you're working. You could say, hey, I am thankful for the fact that I've got good colleagues. I'm thankful for the fact that I have a job. So write 5 things down that you're thankful for in your professional life. Take a moment. Okay, next. What are your top 3 strengths? These are attributes that you have that you believe will give you the necessary, let's say, ammunition to achieve your goal. What do you believe are your top 3 strengths? An example could be, you can say, hey, I'm a good communicator. I communicate my message clearly and with clarity with the people that I speak with. So write down your top 3 strengths. It's a bit of thinking involved, but I promise you it all will make sense soon. Okay, next. What are your top 3 habits? Now, habits are things that you do on a day-to-day basis that you're going to write down that's going to help you achieve your goal. So write down your top 3 habits. Okay. Next, what are your top 12 goals in 2021? Now remember, when you're writing down your goal, you're going to write 1 to 12 and make sure that they're specific, measurable, achievable, relatable, time-bound, okay? And there's smarter goals as well, remember. So you can evaluate them and you can reward yourself. So write down 12 goals. Now this, you can take some time for this because you want to thinking your top 12 goals, whichever you believe that you want to achieve, financial, career, physical, whichever, top 12 goals. Take a moment and write them down. Okay. Now, out of those 12 goals, select your top 6 goals. Okay. Now, out of the top 6, select your top 3 goals. So hopefully by now, you would have had 3 goals that you have selected out of all the goals that you've written down. Now, I want you to write down what is your financial goal for 2021. Write down the figure. So now let's compile everything together. So here's what you want to write down. So you want to take a blank piece of paper now, and all that you're going to do now is you're compiling your mission statement. And this is what you would write. My purpose is to express my strength 1, strength 2, and strength 3 that you'd already written down by the habit 1, habit 2, and habit 3 that you'd already written down to achieve goal 1, goal 2, and goal 3, and to have a positive net worth of your financial goal by the date that you want to write as your end goal date. This will comprise of all the things that you've written down to create your mission statement and your goal. So my purpose is to express my strength 1, strength 2, and strength 3 by the habit 1, habit 2, and habit 3 to achieve goal 1, goal 2, and goal 3, and to have a positive net worth of whatever the amount that you wrote by this date. This is your mission statement. Remember, there's power in writing it down. You know, they say if you write it down, you don't have to remember it again. And this is very powerful because you're now getting into the top 3 percentile of successful people in the world. And also, this mission statement has proven to be extremely powerful for a lot of people who are achievers in the world. Now, what do you want to do with this mission statement is you want to share it with your accountability partner, at least 3 of them who you will be accountable to. See, what we have found, or what's always been known in the world is, let's say Roger Federer, an amazing tennis player, but he has a coach who's his accountability partner. Now, the coach doesn't have to be a better player than Roger Federer, but he's got a coach. Take Ronnie O'Sullivan, snooker player, the best in the world, but he's got a coach. The coach doesn't have to be a better player than Ronnie O'Sullivan, but he makes sure that Ronnie O'Sullivan is accountable towards his achievement. Now, who are your accountable partners? You need to find one, because accountability partners really will push you. Now, if you have a spouse, sometimes the spouse might not be your accountable partner because they might not support you in your vision and your goal. So you want to share your mission statement that you wrote down with an accountability partner. And many people have seen that when they proclaim their mission or what they're going to do, they achieve it. It's a subliminal thing. And here's what I also want you to do with regards to your mission statement. Every single day, read it out. Read it out. Now, what I used to do is I used to keep my mission statement behind my door, my actual wardrobe door. So I see it every single day and I read it every single day. And you want to read it out loud so that your ears will hear the words that you say, the mission statement. See, Oprah Winfrey had interviewed Jim Carrey. And Jim Carrey was saying about how poor and broke he was. And it was the year 1990. And Jim Carrey said a story that he was so fed up of being unsuccessful in his life, he wrote a check to Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey wrote a check out to him of $10 million by Thanksgiving 1995, 5 years later. At that time, he was not a very successful actor whatsoever. And every day he used to carry that check in his wallet and he used to see it every single day, and it deteriorated over the years. And on the check it was written, for acting services rendered $10 million. And here's what happened. Thanksgiving 1995, Jim Carrey gets a call with a message that he was going to get paid $10 million for his movie Dumb and Dumber. You see, stories like this, I can give you multiple amount of stories of how these mission statements and these goals have affected people's lives. Darren Hardy in his book Compound Effect says BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goals. So friends, that's the exercise of you writing down your mission statement and your goal. NeXarise, we have our mission statement. We have our goals. The founders, we have our goals. We know exactly what we're going to do. We know exactly what we're going to do, how we're going to do it. And you're going to see literally magic, literally unfold in front of your eyes in the next few months and years. You know, we are creating legacy and history. And I hope that today, many of you would have probably done this for the very first time. It feels a little bit awkward, but I promise you, if you take what I showed you right now seriously and you put it into action, watch at the end of your goal date, because you will literally see a huge difference in your life. Now, here's the best part. One of the greatest authors and intellectual giants of the 20th century, his name is C.S. Lewis. He said, you can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. I hope you will take your mission statement, your goal today, and you will take the system, you will take the actual strategy, apply it, use the power of time compression, and literally make 2021 your best life ever. Because why? You're intentional about your habits, your strengths, your goal, and your mission statement.